An MBA in India costs up to 40 lakhs, requires 2 years of your life, and yet the data is irrefutable. An MBA from a premier Indian B school can deliver a 100 to 150% salary increase over your pre-MBA earnings. On the other hand, founder of a billion-dollar company says,
if you're 25 and going to MBA college today, you must be some kind of idiot. And a lot more people will not be opting into entrepreneurship, but they will have to choose it.
This asks the biggest question in every young professional's mind. Is that MBA degree the only key to management, or can sheer grit and on-ground expertise get you there just as fast? To understand this better, today we are settling this debate by dissecting the early careers of two managers in the highly competitive Indian edtech sector, both with less than 5 years of experience. We have a B school MBA and a non-MBA engineer who rose through the ranks. We will ask them 10 brutal questions on everything from their day-to-day work to the salary progression and strategic thinking. While an MBA accelerates your climb with MBA graduates cited as India's most employable talent at 78% versus 71.5% for BTech grads, the real test of manager isn't just getting hired, it's surviving the next recession.
अगर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप ही करनी थी तो MBA करने क्यों आए? ठीक है, बिकॉज कोई भी MBA का जो कॉलेज है वो आपको बिजनेस तो सिखा नहीं रहा, वो कहने की B स्कूल है.
The question we really need to answer is, does MBA give you frameworks that the non-MBA manager is too busy getting their hands dirty to learn, thus making them fundamentally quicker at solving new problems? Let's start with their origin stories.
My formal education was engineering. Besides being able to learn how to do problem solving, I don't think there's much that I could actually pick up from engineering which would be relevant to what I'm doing today. I feel that most of what my learnings are, strategic decisions are on the job, have been an outcome of the 8 years of on-the-job experience that I've had. But one thing I cannot take away from engineering would be that it does teach you how to problem solve very well. Look at a bigger problem, break it down into smaller components, identify patterns and try and solve strategically.
I think almost every decision that I take leverages some or the other framework, or at least a subset of that framework, to take, or let's say make those decisions more informed. There are multiple examples. One of those were when we are choosing a channel to promote, and usually a lot of times people forget about the feasibility aspect of failing sometime in future, right? Are we all fully safe? And we just get blinded by the returns that that particular channel can give us. But we were mindful of exploring the feasibility aspect of it and were able to eliminate an option which otherwise on paper looked very good.
I think GTM was one thing that I actually learned as a hard skill, which only happened on the job, and there was no tangible way for me to learn that through an engineering program.
MBA would only teach you to think. It will give you frameworks, but managing people and stakeholders directly is a very different ballgame. It changes from team to team, it changes from company to company, and you will only learn it on ground while executing your job.
When a larger problem is broken down into smaller bits, trying to solve the problem with mutually exclusive solutions, looking for those patterns, looking at what inputs, what outputs, and what constraints I have, which I want to basically manage with, is, I think, essentially what has continued to be my strategy on solving problems.
We learned the 7 principles of solving a problem as a consultant, and that's basic part of your consulting toolkit. And hence, the first step that we must all do is define the problem very, very precisely. This is where 50% of the people fail. We make sure that we know what is the North Star. We make sure we know what are the constraints within which we have to find a solution. And then we also start breaking it down further, right? And that solves 50% of the problem at least.
Problem solving in general, like I mentioned, is obviously something that I did pick up from engineering. However, 80 to 90% of doing operations, doing stakeholder management, being able to work under critical deadlines, being able to do product management, project management to a great degree. I think all of that, personally, I picked up from my on-the-job experience, and it wasn't something that I was taught very explicitly in my engineering, or was something I would have probably been able to pick up anyway.
When you think of MBA, it's theoretical plus, of course, the practical aspects of life. Honestly, a bit hard to quantify it as a percentage. Probably almost 50-50. The work that you do gets amplified in impact because of what you learned as a grad in MBA. At the same time, your ability to navigate an orchestrate conversations, drive meetings definitely drives the remaining 50% of the impact you create on a day-to-day basis.
It did not, honestly. I feel that for me, my career was an outcome of being at the right place at the right time. I wouldn't say that should be like the go-to strategy for most people to find a job. You can't really rely on the universe to align things for you. Of course, it did probably bring an opportunity to me, but the fact that I was able to crack the opportunity by myself, that I think was not majorly because of engineering. It was just because I ended up being in the right place at the right time.
So I think it's not the degree which helped, but it's the network. It helped me reach out to people very, very easily without any inhibitions. Otherwise, we have these inhibitions. So it just helps you navigate or reach out to people much more comfortably. Even if you get an opportunity, but if you don't have the skills, you will not be able to clear any interviews. And your network allows you to get those opportunities beyond a degree.
That first half was revealing. We have seen the MBA manager acknowledge the network and initial salary bump, while the non-MBA manager detailed the power of domain expertise and the ability to build the product before managing it. But there's still more to the puzzle.
If you're 25 and going to MBA college today, you must be some kind of idiot.
As Zerodha co-founder Nikhil Kamath famously argued, in the age of AI and open learning, the MBA's curriculum is available for free. Why pay for it? The defense of the MBA lies not in the information it provides, but in the structured thinking it imposes. The true difference between these two paths is not what they know, but how they are trained to think when they encountered a crisis they've never seen before. We are moving now to the second set of questions, which target the strategic heart of management: hiring, long-term planning, and the direct application of their educational background.
Personally, I feel for my role, no. I've been very fortunate to be a part of an organization that had a very open mindset about the kind of people they want to hire. I think today's age and generation, at least in corporate, has now started shifting towards proof of work being a bigger validation of how good you are and how bad you are on a certain job as compared to a piece of paper. I personally feel that I have not had any, restrictions on promotions or salary or increments, majorly because I come from an engineering background, but I'm actually working in a business role.
Not the promotion, but the opportunity to operate in a role. What I mean by that is, let's say if I am part of strategy team, then if you are an MBA or not an MBA, then does not matter, because if you do well, you will continue to have that growth. But there are a lot of companies and a lot of opportunities within a lot of functions which will only have you as a member of the team if you are coming from a business background.
Personally, for the longest time in my career, I felt that most of the peers that I had who were working at the same role, they came from engineering and operations backgrounds. However, of late, when I think of strategy, which is like a very business-oriented role, and it requires for you to have a more holistic understanding of business, I've actually been surrounded by more business professionals who come from that respective background.
People are again coming from various backgrounds. For example, if you are in tech, you really don't need a business degree to be a leader in tech. Even on product, I would say there is a 50-50 chance that you may be a product leader without a business education or with a business education. At the end of the day, it just depends on the path within a function that you are taking. 50-50 is the current split at the moment.
I will like to say yes and no. Engineering was not able to give me as much as I would have expected. I actually got a very good network of people who are some of the finest engineers that I personally know. And then there are certain people who went on to being entrepreneurs. So I think that is something I would not like to be taken away from me. However, when it comes to my personal foundation of learning business and understanding business, I would definitely like to actually go back in time and study the core first principles of business in a formal way, and then, probably make sense of it in practice in the real life.
In India, at the end of the day, you are not competing with yourself, you're competing with literally almost 15 lakhs people, right, who are graduating every year. Continuous evolvement of skills is the only thing that is going to make you stand out. It could be a business degree, it could be something else. But if you don't continue to upskill yourself, you will fall behind.
I wouldn't say confidence actually came from my education, because engineering students are generally, they're not great people managers. A small portion of those people end up being great people managers. I think the network, like I said before, is something that I felt was intangible and invaluable for me. I have friends who are working in some of the biggest tech companies in the world, entrepreneurs who have actually spun between different practices in different professions. They've done designing, consulting, full stack development, they've done end-to-end product management, they've done content creation. So I'm very fortunate to have a network that I got from my engineering and some of the smartest people I know. When it comes to other aspects, I think, yeah, I mean, there was not much for me to take away besides, you know, a lot of memories and very good set of friends.
I think it's the network, essentially, because wherever you go, you will be able to find people you can simply knock the doors off, right? And they will open doors for you. There are multiple things in your life you might need somebody for. Contacts for some admissions in a hospital on an emergency basis. Advice on financial management. There are so many things that you need to take a call on as an individual, where if you have a network of people you can trust because they are coming from a similar background or they are at the same level in society, it always helps. Much beyond the monetary benefit.
I don't, honestly. I feel that if you're working in a business role, at some point you do end up doing an MBA. It's essentially about the mistakes you make and how you learn from them. If you don't end up learning from your mistakes, then probably that's not equivalent to what an MBA would be. However, if say you're found in a role where you are leading initiative, probably building something from scratch, I think that's a great avenue for you to actually learn what an actual MBA is supposed to teach you. And I've been fortunate enough to work in Scalar in roles where I've actually started verticals from the very scratch and I've led them to probably generating millions of dollars of revenue. For people who are in more traditional roles, if you're going to probably be a consultant, if you're going to be a management consultant, then maybe doing an MBA makes more sense because an MBA obviously does teach you in a very formal way what it means to actually run a business. And not just in one practice, not just as a practitioner in marketing or in sales or say in operations, in general, how different pieces of the puzzle actually fit together to make an entire business run.
My personal recommendation is always to go for a business education because eventually it's good to be a specialist. But a business education allows you to diversify your knowledge base, gives you an exposure of how a company actually operates. And then you will be able to operate better as an individual function lead or as a specialist because you would understand the counter views or views of people you are interacting with on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, you will kind of not appreciate or not have empathy for others, which is not good in long term to become a leader.
We have now heard the full story from both the sides. The MBA candidate who invested money for acceleration and the engineer manager who invested time for specialization. The verdict, especially in fast-moving sector like EdTech, is balanced but clear. The MBA is undeniably a career accelerator and a risk mitigator. On average, an MBA from a top-tier B school enables a professional to reach the assistant manager level by 1.5 to 2 years. Faster than the peer who relies solely on the job learning. The MBA salary also starts higher, often 10 to 18 lakhs for a sub 5-year manager because the degree instantly signals a standardized, validated set of skills in finance, strategy, and operations. The non-MBA managers learn the frameworks like market segmentation or discounted cash flow after facing the problem through sheer dedication. The MBA manager learns the frameworks before facing the problem, allowing them to diagnose the issue much quicker. This speed is the true value proposition of the degree. However, the most insightful answer came from the non-MBA manager's perspective on individual merit. And this is supported by top corporate thinking. The job of a manager is to solve problems and manage people. If the MBA student relies purely on the degree's brand name without developing the emotional intelligence and communication skills industry asks for, that degree quickly becomes worthless. In conclusion, the MBA is a powerful catalytic agent. It compresses the time needed to acquire a business skill set, but ultimately it is not a magic bullet. It is merely the finest available tool for those who want to jump the queue. The one who truly rises to the top, regardless of the background, is the individual who never stops learning.